All right, here we go, your science bulletin for January 3rd, 2026. Let's just jump right in.
On any given day, the pace of scientific discovery is just relentless. From labs to observatories, we're constantly redrawing the map of what we even thought was possible.
But here's the thing that's truly mind-bending, right? It's the sheer range of it all. We're not just pushing one frontier, we're pushing dozens, all at the same time, from the tiniest things you can imagine to the biggest.
And that's exactly the journey we're going to take you on today. Think of it as a whirlwind tour of the last 24 hours in science. We're going to start with a very code that makes you, well, you, and we'll end up with a wild new idea for how to literally touch the fundamental forces of reality.
Okay, first stop, the blueprint of life. We're diving deep, right down to the cellular level, where some incredible new breakthroughs are totally redefining what's possible for our health. So let's talk about something called autophagy. You might not have heard of it, but it's super important. Basically, your cell's own natural cleanup crew. Now, what happens when that crew goes on strike? Well, scientists in Birmingham just found that when it breaks down inside our tear glands, it's a major cause of dry eye disease, which, as you know, affects millions of people.
But what's so cool about this is how it shows the path from problem to solution, right? Because they identified the breakdown, the very same researchers figured out that common stuff like melatonin could actually get that cleanup crew back to work in their lab models. It's a huge step towards restoring eye health.
Now, this is really fascinating. This next discovery totally flips our whole understanding of focus on its head. A new study on ADHD from Rockefeller University is suggesting the key isn't to stimulate the brain more, but actually to quiet it down. They've pinpointed this gene, Homer1, that basically acts like a volume knob for all that background noise in your brain. And when they turned it down in mice, it boosted the brain's natural brakes, letting them have this incredibly sharp focus when they needed it.
Okay, so as we get better and better at understanding our genes, it becomes absolutely critical that we get safer at editing them. These gene editing tools like CRISPR, they're amazing, but they can make mistakes, off-target effects. Well, researchers at St. Jude have developed a brand new safety check. And just look at the difference here. The new method is unbiased, it's way more efficient, and it needs 95% less sequencing. This is a game changer for making these revolutionary therapies safe enough for people.
And the breakthroughs just keep coming. Just two quick but really important updates in biomedicine. First, there's a new molecular glue gel that could completely change how we repair vocal cords. It lasts for weeks, offering real hope for restoring someone's voice. And at the same time, other research is showing that some common diabetes drugs might actually change how cancer grows and spreads in the body, which could open up totally new ways to fight it.
All right, let's zoom out. We've been deep inside the cell, but as we learn to rewrite our own biological code, it really makes you wonder, how are our actions rewriting the ecological code of the entire planet?
So now we're shifting our focus to the planetary scale. We're looking at a world that's in a state of rapid, constant change, from its climate and policies all the way back to our own deep, deep history. And this right here, this is such a stark visual signal of that change. New data from the UK Met Office shows this direct mathematical link. For every single degree Celsius of warming, about 2.5 more plant species, we're talking daisies, dandelions, are now blooming in the middle of winter. It's completely throwing off the planet's natural timing. So in response to changes like that, we're starting to see some major policy moves. Just this week, on January 2nd, the European Union's new green tariff officially kicked in. It's called the Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism, or CBAM, and it's basically a way to penalize high-carbon imports like steel. It's a huge attempt to link global trade directly to climate action. At the same time, over in the United States, we're seeing a very different story unfold. The Trump administration has ordered a halt to work on a huge offshore wind project off the coast of Virginia. That's prompted the energy company to file a lawsuit, and they're citing losses of $5 million for every single day the project is stalled. You know, our impact on this planet goes back way, way further than most of us realize. Incredible new evidence from the island of Sulawesi shows that humans were managing and transporting pigs 50,000 years ago. That's so much earlier than we ever thought, and it completely changes our understanding of early human societies and how they shape their world. All right, time to zoom out again, way out. We're leaving our planet behind and heading into the cosmos, where a single day can bring both these mind-blowing discoveries and some pretty sobering reminders of just how dangerous it is to operate in space. Okay, how about this for a cosmic whodunit? For years, astronomers were using the Hubble telescope to watch what they were pretty sure was a planet.
an exoplanet they called Fomalhaut b. And then, poof, it just vanished.
So what in the world happened? Did a planet just disappear? Well, the real story is actually even crazier. It turns out what they were looking at wasn't a planet at all. It was a massive, expanding cloud of dust from a violent collision between two huge, asteroid-sized objects. They basically had a front-row seat to the chaotic aftermath of planet formation.
And back here, closer to home, it's really been a day of highs and lows in orbit. On the one hand, you have this amazing success story. The Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, just nailed its 100th orbital launch, a huge milestone. But on the flip side, the European Space Agency had to confirm it was hit by a major cyber attack.
And yeah, this wasn't just some minor thing. A threat actor is claiming they stole over 200 gigabytes of really sensitive data. We're talking source code, credentials, the works. It's a serious wake-up call about the vulnerabilities in our global space infrastructure. Okay, for our final stop on this journey, we are going to the most fundamental scale you can possibly imagine. We're leaving the world of cells and planets behind to look at a theoretical proposal that tries to get its hands on the very fabric of reality itself.
It really is one of the ultimate questions in all of science, isn't it? Can we control gravity? I mean, we live with it, we're subject to it every single second, but could we ever actually interact with it? Well, a bold new experiment is proposing a way to find out.
So, physicists in Germany have come up with this incredible, almost science fiction-sounding experiment. The idea is to fire these super high-intensity laser pulses down a kilometer-long setup. They'd bounce the light back and forth between mirrors up to 1 million times, creating a path that's effectively 1 million kilometers long. And the whole point of this massive setup? To try and detect a minuscule transfer of energy between the light and a passing gravitational wave. If they can do it, if they can actually measure that, it would be the first real evidence for the graviton. That's the theoretical particle that carries the force of gravity, kind of like how a photon is a particle of light. I mean, this would be a monumental step towards a unified theory of everything.
So think about where we've been. From editing a single gene inside a cell to potentially tweaking the force of gravity itself, what the last 24 hours in science really show us is a deeply, deeply connected reality. We are gaining this incredible power not just to see these systems, but to actively rewrite and reshape them. And that leaves us with the biggest question of all. It's not just about what we can do, but what we will choose to do with that power. How will we synchronize our amazing technology with the planet we all share?